This is a love story that has surpassed the boundaries of distance and time. A story that involves passion, sacrifice, loss, and the courage to persevere through everything life throws at you. This is the story of a lady who got married thrice to the same man in 3 different continents. This love story survived World War I, the Bolshevik uprising. This is the story of my great-grandparents. José Custodio Francisco Siqueira was born in Naicavada, Aldona, 1880. Lucia Elena Irzaiva, with whom I share a middle name, was born 20 years later in 1900 at Moscow, Russia. In 1917, during the final phase of the First World War, the ruling Tsar could no longer govern an empire like Russia. The Bolsheviks decided to take matters into their own hands and overthrow Tsar Nicholas II and assassinate his entire family. I give you the Russian Revolution. Just as in the infamous French Revolution of 1789, many noble families fled Russia to avoid persecution. Lucia's family was one of them. They traveled from Moscow to her aunt's farm in Azerbaijan, where they settled themselves in the capital of Baku. Lucia's father, Viktor Josef Izraev, found work as the bank manager of the Bank of Baku. After schooling, Lucia herself also got a job at the same bank. This is important, remember this. Lucia's mother, Maria, and her sister, Tamara, can also be seen in this photograph. The little baby you see to the left is Lucia, age 3, Russian photograph. Coming to the family of José. José came from a large family. His father was João Cássio Octaviano de Siqueira. José standing behind his father right over there. Surrounding them are all Cássio's other sons and daughters. This picture was taken at our ancestral house at Aldona, which is currently called Cássio's house. See, José studied medicine at Bombay, after which he joined as a military doctor in the British Army. This is important, remember this. This picture shows José seated right in the middle, that's José over here, with his military compatriots. In the year 1918, during the final phase of First World War, the Battle of Baku occurred between the leading powers because they were fighting for the oil fields in Baku. Russia reached out to Britain for help. Rather than send troops all the way from Britain, it was easier to send the British Army from India. That is how José reached Baku. José would visit the Bank of Baku to collect his weekly salary. It didn't hurt that the person handing him that salary was pretty little 18-year-old Lucia. It was love at first sight. She was 20, he was 40. Ugh. He only spoke English, Portuguese and French, and she only spoke German, Russian and French. So he bought a French-Russian dictionary to speak to her. They got married in 1919 in the Russian Orthodox Church. When José had to return home, Lucia had to leave her parents, I'm sure, which was heartbreaking. She left her culture and her language to follow the man she loved to a place called Goa that she had never heard of before. When they reached Jerusalem, she got baptized into the Catholic Church and they got married again in the Catholic Church. Second marriage. From Jerusalem, they came via land to Bombay, where José introduced his new wife to his uncle priest, Father Augustine, who said, I don't believe y'all are married. I know these Russians. I'm going to marry you a third time. Third time. Got married the third time. He said, I will not allow you to live in sin. Let's marry you again, just to be sure. So it is said that when the steamer ship arrived at Panjim docks, cousins all over Goa gathered there to welcome the new bride. All the cousins stayed at Aldona for a month to help her settle in. And what a culture shock Lucia found. No electricity, no running water. This is 1919 and she's come from Russia. Legend has it that Lucia would not allow José to leave their bedroom in pajamas until they were both fully dressed for the day. He tolerated this for around a month and he said, I need breakfast in pajamas. This is the ancestral house in Aldona, and this is the year 1932 when tragedy struck. Because you see, in this year, by this time the couple had 6 children, a 7th one on her way. Lucia lost 1 daughter, 1 son, and José to a heart attack. In 1945, the Cold War hit and Russia put down the Iron Curtain. She lost all contact with her family back in Russia. Lucia is left in a country where she knew no one. She's lost the man she loved. The reason she came to this country with 5 living children to look after, no source of income, no job, and no contact with her family. This is a picture taken of Lucia. You can see her sitting there with her 5 surviving children. The little cute girl in the short dress to the left is my grandmother. Lucia started a boarding house in Casio's house. She took in boarders to help make ends meet. She raised them lovingly, but she raised them firmly, constantly reminding them how beautiful their father was. This photograph was captured in front of Casio's house. The lady sitting to the left is Lucia. The youngest daughter, Maria, is seated to the right in front of her husband. The little girl in between is my mother. And during her 60 years in Goa, Lucia had created such an impact that it is said that her funeral was the largest one ever attended in Aldona. Jose and Lucia, they lie side by side now in the Aldona cemetery where they belong. But their legacy lives on. 5 surviving children, all of whom dispersed to different parts of the globe. Today we are countless grandchildren and great-grandchildren. The lady you see right now is the youngest baby girl of Jose and Lucia, Maria. Maria is the daughter who stayed back in Goa. This is her lineage. I am her lineage. And she's seated right there up there today at the age of 90. From Russia to India with love. Thank you.